Hello guys, this is Ramon Williams. I'm back to show you a little bit more about what I do, what my process is. I may not go through everything today, but I do want to just jump into some of the little things that I do, some smaller details that I do. If you can see my screen, I have quite a few windows open. And this mostly today I want to show the fact that I'm generally building about 2 or 3 apps at a time, and I have a few projects. I will say this much about myself. I am a serial entrepreneur. I like to have more than one thing going on at a time, and I think it just helps me out. This goes back to very young. I remember just being able. One examples in my lifetime. I remember early on was working in the coffee shop, and working the coffee shop alone as a barista, and having to be the cashier, the barista, everything all in one, the manager. But the point is I would manage a lot of different things at one time, and we had a pretty robust coffee machine. So we had what are called group heads, and there were 4 of them on our machine, so I could have more than one thing going at a time. And then there were also other things happening inside of the shop that I could do. So I could be doing multiple things at one time, and I just kind of like working that way. I like feeling like I'm optimizing myself, and so at any rate, it doesn't mean that I don't try to accomplish, and it doesn't mean I don't try to execute and get things done. So I want to just show you a little bit more about my process. We'll be using Kiki.dev again today. As you can see, I have a window already open. This is where we left off with our last project with Kiki.dev. And I want to just kind of jump into this. So this is where we left off with the AI community app, or the AI forums app. So a couple of things that I wanted to do was I wanted to build this for Android. When I originally built the first one, I built it on Bolt.new. Bolt.new uses a different package manager, which is Node.js, which is nothing wrong with Node.js. Node.js is the most popular package manager out there, but Kiki uses Yarn, which is slightly different. Yarn is a little bit more stable when you go into the production or producing your app to be deployed. The biggest thing to understand, though, is that with Yarn versus Node, you have to do a little bit more. And once you to set up your working environment to get Yarn to work as a package manager. But I want to show you something real quick. I'm going to show you my iPhone to show you what the original AI standard looks like from my iPhone. So as you can see here, it's purple and white, or purple and black. This is done in Bolt before Bolt made its announcement, which was about a few days ago, about their upgrade in UI. And I will say that they did make a great upgrade in their UI. This was very plain, very basic, but as you can see, this is the purple app that we have here. I also want to show you real quick, this is built with Kiki. This is the tech stack app. So this is I am doing this from my phone. I think, you know what, yeah, that was the wrong password. I've been using this email for different apps. So this is my tech stack app here. One cool thing that I did that Supabase does a great job of is I have all the apps that I'm building for the AI standard. In particular, I'm connecting to one database or one Supabase project. So whatever account you create within the AI standard, whether that's through the AI standard, tech stack, or AI stack, which are the 3 apps that I have out now, that same login will work across all apps. So this is tech stack, a brief preview. This is done inside of Kiki. Kiki has not made any announcements about what they've done in terms of their UI and enhancing it. This is exactly how it came out when I told it, hey, this is what I want to do for my project. And so this is what it produced for me. and I think it's very clean. It's very very eye-catching. The animations, again, Kiki just did that for me. I did not ask for Kiki to do that. So this is a look inside of the Tech Stack app. In the Tech Stack app, I built this for the non-technical people to have like a beginner's, like a somewhere to begin in terms of learning how to build an app, in terms of learning how to build a website. And what you're going to see is the breakdown of what it looks like to build an app. So the development workflow shows that, whereas front end, back end, these are the two main things that you have inside of your app. The front end is what you actually see, and then the back end is what happens behind the scenes, how everything works. Then you have third-party APIs, your database, or what we will probably all know as Supabase, especially for these AI code builders, CI/CD, continuous improvement, continuous development, where you're basically monitoring, anything that needs to be changed, updated over time, or if you have upgrade any features or anything like that, or if you add any features to your projects. And then you have your cloud infrastructure, how you handle your deployment, your monitoring in terms of what's going on with the app, crashes, bugs, etc. And security. Security is pretty huge. But these are a lot of things to cover, in terms of a technical or non-technical person, But this kind of gives you a high overview of what it is that it takes to build out an app. So each component here has its own breakdown within this subject, or within this within this content matter. So one thing that I really like to point out is the visual reference. Every single one of these concerns or components have a visual reference page. So for the front end, it's pretty straightforward, right? It's like you got buttons. And this just explains buttons: primary, secondary, text button. And we've seen examples of all of these. Icon buttons, and you have the button states, where the color of the button may change when you hover over it. One that may not be working for whatever reason. Maybe you haven't filled out your form and it's disabled. It's not ready to go yet. This one is really cool. When you download the app, this will actually send a vibration into your hand when you tap that, which is really cool. Shows those. One of my favorite things to kind of show for people are modals, especially people who just like are getting into tech or understanding what's going on. Modal is really a cool way of handling certain displays or certain features that you want to show, or certain things that you want to do in terms of a process. And this is something that a lot of non-technical people may want to know about. What is a modal? So a modal is something that overlays your main screen. You can probably still see some of the screen. Some modals may cover more of the screen. It may go the entire width of the screen. But this is a cool thing to kind of just understand the concept of a modal. Also, based on that modal, you can also understand how to handle spacing. So you have margin and padding, and this is all within the visual reference. So you can basically set how you want that modal to be formatted within your app, right? So where it was centered inside of the app, you can format it with understanding what margin and padding is. And another reason why it's kind of important to have this, especially as a non-technical person, is the fact that you can reference what this is. And when you're talking to the AI, even though you can use natural language to say, hey, listen, this screen that is supposed to pop up for whatever reason, X, Y, and Z, is not showing, in the right position. Once you say position for a screen and you identify what the screen is, the AI should be able to identify it. Even if you send it an image, right? You can screenshot it, send it an image, say, hey, this is what's going on with my project. I'd like for you to change that for me. And it can pretty much pick up what's going on. But it's important to understand, like, when you're talking to the AI, that there are certain things that you may want to accomplish that it's just not grasping from whatever you're saying in your natural language. So this kind of helps bridge that gap for you with this app. Another thing that you can do within this app is connect with nearby users. So this will pull up your location. This is where I am. I am in Ypsilanti, out in Ann Arbor. And so it'll pull up your location, and it can show where you are and see if there's anybody else in the area. Right now, there's no one in the area that's on the TechStack app sharing their location. And what we wanted to do is basically allow you to create connections with people. If there's somebody that you want to connect with locally that is an entrepreneur, that's a technical person, you can share, connect with them, and basically create an event. So in here, you can create an event that is for you and another person, whether it's for a partnership or for the community. So you can have a group of people like, hey, you want to talk about an idea, potentially start a business, potentially start some type of venture that we can do together. Or you can invite the community to say, hey, listen, this is something that I want to do. This is something I want to build. Let's discuss it as a community. Or let's just connect. Let's just network. And maybe you're good at hosting parties and you want to talk about tech things, so this is a way to just kind of connect with people that are in this tech space. And in your profile, one of the things that I wanted to make is whether or not you have a technical or non-technical background, and just to kind of help like identify, how do you identify? I'm slowly converting over to technical, but I still identify as a non-technical person. And here I also have just some information about what the AI standard is about, and it will link you back to our AI standard website, which I believe this is actually a different one. But yeah, so that's what TechStack pretty much is. AI Stack just recently deployed, and this one is also built with Kiki. Kiki is talking about, or Henry from Kiki. What's going on, Henry? Shout out to Henry. Henry's a cool guy. He is talking about building a asset, something to produce assets, which assets for your app would be icons. So with Kiki, they give you a lot of plug and play assets that will pre-fill or pre-populate in certain areas where you may have a logo, an icon, etc. And they're talking about making assets for your specific idea. How that will look, I don't know, but I'm interested. I'm curious. It might turn out great. But the point is this will be an asset. So this is a logo for this app. So what I did was I created 3 app books, is what I'm calling them, for this course or for this curriculum for the AI standard. And the first one that I just showed you was TechStack, which was a foundational book, which is, as you can see, the logo is at the bottom. It may not be in the app, I don't think. But yeah, the logo's at the bottom, or TechStack is at the bottom. AI Stack is the next one up, which is in the middle. The last one will be the prompting app, which I'll just call prompt or prompting. And so that'll be the last app, which I'm working on. I'll probably give you a little preview of it today. And okay, so when you get into the AI stack, you have your tabs down here. Your tabs are your Learn tab, your Build tab, which we'll jump into a little bit later. Some extra resources. You have a glossary, some other AI tools or tech stack things to understand about AI and how to build with your AI. And then a quizzing section. Even in the tech stack, which I didn't go over, there are games and quizzes inside of tech stack, which I guess we can kind of preview that real quick. But if we jump down to, let's say, third-party API, we have a quiz. Each quiz section is about 15 questions. So what is auth primarily used for, which is authorization, authentication, and it tells you what it is. Okay, next question. There are also games. So the games are designed to kind of help build on what you have. So this game is called Build the UI, and start the game. So you're building the UI, or the screen for your login screen structure. So what will go first? Probably a container, right? Title, right? So subtitle. And I mean, we can kind of understand that from the beginning when we open up the app, so this is the container is within the screen that holds the information that you're going to enter into it. So you have the logo here, which is the tech stack logo, tech stack, the title or the name, brought to you by the AI standard. So maybe some type of subtitle, greeting, welcome, sign in to continue. Then you have these, which will be called like input fields or form fields. And then your buttons. This is word button, icon here, etc. So you get the idea. But let's jump back into the AI stack. So the AI stack has quizzes as well. These are a little bit shorter, 5 questions, 1 of 5. And then obviously your profile. So again, you see this same little gravatar here. We'll jump back into the learn section. What is AI? Okay, so you jump in here, introduction to AI. This has already been completed by me. And so I created these videos for each section. And I'm not hearing it. I think, you know what? Wow. So this is connected to my phone. It's playing on my Bluetooth headphones. So that's why it's not playing through. But that's fine. But anyways, this is connected to my YouTube page, so you can just jump into my YouTube page and it should redirect you. Then you have AI in everyday life, next lesson, evolution of AI, and types of intelligence. So that's the intro course. What is AI? Okay, you got machine learning basics, tokens, parameters, kind of breaking down the nitty-gritty of an LLM, modalities, which is basically talking about how the AI interacts with you or interacts with the world around it, and then AI in your business, which I feel like kind of ties us all back together. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm here to help entrepreneurs who want to build technical businesses, or maybe you're already an entrepreneur or an intrapreneur where you may see opportunities to add AI tools rather than building out AI solutions, but add AI tools to your everyday process, work process. So that's what the AI stack is about. This build blueprint guide, I formatted a blueprint here where it kind of just walks you through, what it is that you want to do. So step 1, what's your idea? Step 2, some technical requirements. Step 3, architecture and flow. Step 4, next steps, recommendations. Then you save it. And basically what we want to do here is you want to do some research, and I want to kind of help format it for you to research and think about your idea to fill out this guide. And then you can save this, and then you can bring it to ChatGPT and say, hey, listen, this is a guide. Help me build out or help me understand what would be the best tech stack for me. Maybe you look through the resources, you see all these different tech stack options here, and you say, hey, I did some research on TensorFlow. This is what I've come up with in terms of a guide of how I want to implement AI into my solution. Can you help me build this pine cone with OpenAI key and deploy it for with PyTorch, and add it to my mobile application, whatever the case may be. However you want to build it, however you want to produce it, that's what we can, talk about or do. So let's jump into our project that we were working on last week. And we were working on the AI community app. So we left off with working on the navigation. It's not taking me to the app. Okay, so basically logging in. So we were able to create the login to work, which was fantastic. Authentication is a last step. This is a nugget for you, for anyone who's interested in building. Save authentication. I mean, even creating the login, the look of the login page, save it for the end. Build the app first, and then worry about your authentication at the very end. The reason why is because you can spend a lot of time trying to get authentication, and especially if you're trying to build it with Google authentication or include any other third-party authentication service, it's just more time than what's necessary. You want to build out the actual structure of the app, the features that you want to see, the flow, and then you want to include your auth context and auth state. So let's jump right in to this project. So we left off there, which I believe was only the first prompt. And I think actually it did build our tables. So prompt 2. And just so you know, there's only 4 prompts within this prompt guide. So not a whole lot going on here. I'm not sure how much of this it actually completed. Let's actually take a look here. So a lot of this was already completed. So it kind of gave us a pretty good outline of everything. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it built out the pages. I don't know what I said in the first prompt. I don't remember. But it looks like it pretty much covered a lot of stuff. So I don't know if I need to say any of this. What did the first prompt say? Maybe I used this as the first prompt. Forms to post. Oh, okay. Yeah, so it basically took these details about what the app is about initially, and it created the structure for me without me having to tell it what the structure is. And this is another reason why I love Kiki. They really did a great job of fine-tuning their LLM to just really think through things. So, I mean, my second prompt is going to be pretty much redundant. I don't think I need to send in this second prompt for anything. So let's jump down to prompt 3 and let's take a look at it. So prompt 3, logic, RLS, and admin controls. Interesting. Superbase RLS policies, so it'll write policies for me. I'm not even really sure if this is a prompt that I need to send in. Off logic and welcome flow. I feel like I'm pretty much done with this app. I think I just need to make it work. I think, yeah, that's the biggest thing, is that I just need to make it work. Because right now it's just rendering a screen that does nothing. I mean, even these the toggle does work. Oh wow. Oh, the toggles work. Push notifications don't work because it's not a thing. Privacy settings. None of these have pages to them. Terms of service, privacy policy, help and support. Okay, so nothing has anything to support it yet. So let's just. I'm almost tempted to just say finish building out the app. I kind of want to send in a lazy prompt, but let's be more specific, because I think Kiki can, at this point, I think it can handle a lot of this, and it can build a lot at one time. So let's ignore messaging, because messaging is a little bit different than creating like a details page or fetching information for other things. So let's have it format our forums pages, and let's focus on that. So let's have it format what our forums pages will look like, how the flow will look, And let's talk about that. So let's go here. And so this is what ChatGPT looks like for me. I have a paid subscription, so I pretty much keep everything within folders. But help me generate a prompt. And this is just kind of insight on how I think or how I work with AI. So I don't just send anything into the AI. Sometimes you need a prompt enhancement. And especially for this case, I want to be as thorough as possible. In Bolt.new, they have that feature where you can enhance the prompt. But when you press that enhance prompt, be sure to read it. Be sure to read it. It can think of anything that it wants, and the same will go for here, right? So I'm going to give it some key things that I want to talk about, right? I'm creating the detailed pages, or how the flow of the forums section of this app will look. I could even just say in Kiki something as simple as like, hey, replicate the Discord forums, or some maybe Reddit forums, some type of forum app that I really like just replicate that process, and make it as one-to-one, make it match as much as possible. But help me generate a prompt for my AI standard Discord. All right, let's do this. Can you please create the UI? This off my screen. Can you please create the UI for the forums tab and the flow for the user experience when using this tab? I'd like to have the user be able to add new forums, threads, and reply to threads and forums. I would also like the user to be able to navigate back and forth easily. That's good enough for me. That's good enough for me. Oh, critical. Couple things. While this is working, I will come back to it. But one of the things that I like to do, if I feel comfortable about the direction that I'm going with the AI, and this is a segue from what I owed about, the one thing that I would like to do is, if I feel like the AI has it, like I'm handing it off some work, I'm like, I know it's going to be able to take care of it, I like to jump around. So again, I like to keep myself busy. So I'm working on a couple different apps over here. I can refresh this page and refresh this one. So this is a two-sided app. I'm creating a login or check-in, check-out system for my one of the things that I do for my church, which I lead our children's ministry on Sundays. One of the things that we do right now is we have a paper system where we check in our students, check out our students. And what I would like to do, considering that I have the unlimited power of AI at my disposal through Kiki, I'd like to build out a platform where I can have the parents check in, check out their children. So this actually is information on what we have going on, our current lesson, our church. You can add your child, so it's a quick, simple form to add your child. Right now this is a web preview, so you have quick actions, check in, check out, but the web preview is also a mobile version. So one of the great things about Expo is that Expo can build for the web and for mobile all at the same time. So this same thing that I can deploy as a web app, I can deploy as a mobile app. And just to kind of speak to that, if you're trying to move very fast and you don't need a native mobile application, a web app is a powerful way to get started with whatever you're doing. If you need to test users, if you need to test your idea, find some product market fit, this is a great way to do it if you don't need a native mobile app. For some businesses, for some ideas, you do need a native mobile app. So this is the authorized pickup. This is not an updated version of this. This is actually a profile page. So I need to update this. I need to just basically close it out, restart it. I don't think refreshing it is going to work. Yeah, that didn't work. I don't remember. Did I save my? Yeah, I don't remember any of my credentials for this. So at any rate, so I would jump in here. I'll take a look at what I have going on. So this is the admin side of it, and then this is the parent side of it. So this is the parent portal, and this is the admin portal here. And basically I'm working on two sides. Again, this is one Supabase project where they're both talking to the same, they're both pulling the same information. And from the parent side, they're checking in students, and from the admin side, you can see what students have been checked in, right? So it's really cool being able to see how all this kind of comes together through this. But let's jump back. This is another project that I'm working on. Let's jump back into where we are. So the forums is having an issue, so it's unable to resolve date FNS from the screen. So it's trying to import something that may not be a dependency that's either set up properly, or I'm sure that it downloaded, but maybe it's just not set up properly. It already installed it. So it installed this dependency here, the date FNS, but maybe it just needs to configure it a little bit better and import it properly. But it's going through a lot. Wow. Didn't I thought I only told it to, oh wow, it's done quite a bit of work. So it created the forums. So this is what it said. I'll create the UI for the forums tab and implement the complete flow for the users and forums, threads, and replies. So start by building the necessary components. Okay. So components are really cool in React Native, in React in general, and the foundation of React is built on the idea of having components. And so if you just take a look at like this Kiki UI, this right here is a section that I'm reading out of. This here is a section that's previewing this phone. This up here is like your navigation bar, right? Another navigation bar, menu on the side. These would kind of all be considered components, for lack of better words, right? But these would probably have their own file within components. This might be nav bar, this might be chat thread, this might be preview window, this might be tools or additional resources for the project, whatever it might be. But let's see. Did I change the color of this? You know what? Me telling it that it's Discord style might have changed it from the blue to purple to match. I don't know. I do not remember telling it to change it to purple. I wanted it to be purple. This is the AI standard. I don't know. That's uncanny. That was one of the things that I was going to do next. I have a couple of things that I want to show you, and then we'll close out this video. There are keys that you add to this, and I wanted to show you the format of those keys. So here's an example of an open API key equals, and then this is usually the prefix for your API key, and then you would just copy and paste. So let's just, for your viewing, copy this. It does the same thing as Supabase. That was Supabase. But here, you just would paste it, and then it splits it up. Open API key on this side, that you hit add, you're done. That was just a test key, so let's eliminate it. But that's it. That's how you add your key. This was actually the color that I wanted to change it to. Let's change the key or the color. Let's make it color theme match these codes. Match these. We're not gonna say codes. All right, so we'll make this our last change, and then we will move on. This is another project that I'm working on. This is actually the prompt builder, and I think I can preview this for you. I think I have this to preview. Let's see. My iPhone is loading up, so I have Expo Go. Let's open it up and see what it does. To do app is not right. Okay, so I don't have it to preview. That's fine. I do have this to preview. I have a new app. Test Flight is what Test Flight is the Apple's App Store app to test your apps. So this is my new app that I just built. I built this with Bolt.new to test out a couple different features that they have. One of which is Figma. So if you're a Figma designer, I wanted to be able to see if I can import a Figma design and how well that worked. Kiki just released their Figma design, so I think I can probably show you that real quick. But Kiki right here, it says import from Figma. I haven't tried Kiki's yet. Talked to Henry maybe 2 or 3 days ago. He told me they were gonna push this out in a few days, and here it is. So this is really cool. This is really powerful. That you can just import your design. And you know, if you're a designer and you have an idea, this is kind of like another way to bring that idea to life, you know, in short order, without working too hard on trying to find a partner, trying to find a developer. But this is an AI to-do list. So you go here, talk to your assistant. Hello, I'd like to add task for Friday to meet with my co-founder at 12:30 p.m. to discuss our upcoming events and tasks. Send it in. It will generate a task for you, and you create the task. Successfully created. Here it is, discussing events with my co-founder. So cool. It did not import the date. This looks like these look like some updates that need to happen before I actually deploy this. Oh, it did have a date. Okay, all right. But this is not the right date at all. So it has actually a date and a time. I guess it just didn't load up well enough. Okay, yeah, maybe I need to be more patient. But yeah, so that's this guy here. This brain up here is to use the AI. I don't think that's obvious enough, but it's okay. So the completed task will go here. So let's just call this done. I took my dog to the dog park, and now it's here in the completed tasks. Settings, pretty straightforward, and that's it. So I literally just built this just to build something quick on Bolt.new, but yeah, so that could be in the app stores tomorrow, and maybe I will show you my process in deploying in the app store, because that's where Kiki, Bolt, A0, V0, whatever AI builder right now that you work with, they kind of don't have that process down. And there's also there's more to do once you actually get inside of the app stores, or the app, your accounts with Apple or Google. There's more work to do. So with that being said, thank you guys for joining me. Thank you guys for checking out the video today. I hope you got something out of it. Peace. Until next time, this is Ramon Williams signing out.